Hey everyone, welcome to episode 96 of the Twim Show. This is your host Shazid Islam, and today I'll be going over the notable news and updates from the week of February 14, 2022. This is also the Valentine's Week updates. Just so that you know, full disclosure, this is going to be a pretty packed week. There are like quite a few updates, so I'm going to go ahead and jump right in and I will be moving fast. However, if you do want to hear some of the updates or read more about it, make sure you visit our show notes page or go to marketandgrow.com and you will find a link to the Twim Show and you jump from there. With that, let's start off with something from Instagram. So Instagram, Adam Mosseri, who is the CEO of Instagram, has announced this week that, they are enabling likes on stories. Up until now, especially on Instagram, if you liked or commented on something, those feedback would go straight into the creators inbox as a DM, and obviously that was like really crappy because imagine if 20 people liked or something, you would have a 20 messages in your inbox, right? So now they're enabling likes. They haven't announced how they're going to basically if they're going to use that as an engagement factor, ranking factor, or for their algorithm. But nevertheless, now you will be able to see this metrics on your dashboard. So this is a good move in the right way. Let's move on to the next update. So the next update is that Snapchat is allowing their top creators to insert mid-roll ads into their stories. Now, why am I covering this? Is just that I'm covering it because obviously Snapchat is giving their creators additional opportunity to make money. However, we as a small business owners, we don't really care about, making money. Well, we do care about making money. We are not really trying to make money from advertisement. We are making money by selling our products and services. However, if you look at this algorithm, the way it works is that if there are more creators creating awesome content, and obviously then there are going to be more users, eyeballs on that platform, and if there are more eyeballs, that means our cost in ad inventory will grow, which means cost of ads are going to decrease, and obviously we can promote our product and services at a better rate, plus we will have more eyeballs. Like that's the whole equation. Now, and creators are going to go to platforms where they make the most money, right? Because they spend the time making awesome content. So YouTube has been the king of that. Next, followed by TikTok, and now obviously Instagram and Snapchats and Pinterest, they're all gunning for it. So that's all you need to know. If you are not advertising on Snapchat, if you don't have a product on Snapchat, then this is something you can quickly skip just because it doesn't apply to you. Okay, next up is Microsoft. Microsoft advertising expands to 29 new countries. They're obviously outside the US. Then why am I covering it? Again, just to show you that Microsoft is making those move where now they're becoming a global. Well, they are global now, but they're expanding into new countries, new languages, and basically reaching more people. Now, my focus through this podcast is definitely going to be the US market. Now, in the show notes, I have listed out the countries that are in Microsoft has allowing the advertising to continue, or the 29 new countries. But some of the countries are Eastern European countries. It also includes the Turkey, as well as some countries in Africa as well. Yes, South Africa is already there. I'm looking at it on my screen. Okay, with that, let's move on to the next update from Microsoft, Smart Pages. If you have been following our show, last year we covered it. Microsoft has this free website builder called Smart Pages. That was in closed beta and you had to apply to get in. Now it's available to all US-based small, medium-sized businesses. What is Smart Pages? Smart Pages is basically a free website builder. It's similar to Wix or Square Pages, except that you do not have Wix and Square Pages brand. Now, obviously, Microsoft is not only giving it out to all, anyone can sign up for this, but it also has, I am looking at it, it also has new features such as video embeds, text suggestions, integration with Bing Maps, and things like that. This is actually competing directly with toe-to-toe with things like my Google Pages, right? Now, here's why Microsoft is doing this. Microsoft is doing it because if more and more businesses who do not have a website Either they show up and on Microsoft's, smart pages. Obviously, they have more data. Like, who are those people coming in? What kind of content they're consuming? What kind of things are happening? It's all about platform intelligence and being able to like grow their footprints. This is what Google did 15, 20 years ago, right? So this is something Microsoft is slowly making move. And also they have LinkedIn. So they have a lot of rich data and they will be able to make a lot of great stuff in the future. Okay, with that, let's move on to Meta, which is the company previously known as Facebook. Meta has provided new recommendations to help advertisers lessen the impact of Apple's ATT update. Now, if you've been following our show or if you're new to this, I'll quickly tell you, ATT update, Apple made some privacy adjustment from iOS 14.5, where they said, they gave us, the users, the option to be able to track, to be tracked by advertisers, right? So when I updated my phone and went to Facebook, there was a message that says, do you want to be tracked? I said no. Obviously, any activity that I do on Facebook are not tracked anymore. As a result, the Facebook advertisers do not really get an information of whether I clicked on the ad and what I did and things like that. This obviously had the effect of Facebook losing money, quite a bit of money, to the point where this year the guidance was they're going to make like 10 billion with a B dollar less in revenue because, a lot of the things that are going wrong. So now Facebook has come up and basically says, hey, here are some of the recommendations that you should do. Maybe this will help you with some of the data loss that you're having. As a result, you are not really sure. As a result, you really do not know if your ad is performing well or not, right? In the past, what happened, it was like, I see an ad, I click on it, and obviously on the back end, there would be like conversion metrics set up, whether someone to sign up for a webinar, someone would make a purchase, someone add to the cart, things like that, and that data will get reported back to Facebook, and Facebook say, hey, here's what your ad did. Your ad was shown to 10 people, 5 clicked on the ad, of that 5, 2 made the purchase. Now, Facebook doesn't really be able to tell you, hey, here's your ad, we showed it to 10 people, 5 clicked, but we do, or maybe 5, we don't even know if 5 clicked on it, and we do not know what's happening on the other end, right? So it's all dark. So Facebook has some ideas, like since one of the things that they're saying is like, make sure you integrate and use the conversion APIs, make sure your domain names are verified, and so on and so forth. And also the third thing they're saying is make sure you wait 72 hours, give it some time to figure things out. And Facebook is doing some predictive modeling to say, if this is going to work, if someone's clicking on your ad or not. Having said that, there will be some more additional details in the show notes page, but basically what you need to know is that Facebook is really suffering, and, things are not going to change anytime. Things are not going to get anytime better either for Facebook as well as what's happening that Google has announced this week as well. So stay tuned, and I am covering this towards the end of this show. Okay. With that, YouTube has added, moving on, obviously, YouTube has added new shorts shelf in channel listings. What this basically means is that there will be a separate section for shorts in a channel. Why YouTube is doing this? Because YouTube had 5 trillion views on shorts, and YouTube is pushing it. So YouTube is making headway and competing directly with TikTok. TikTok does not publish their numbers, but Google / YouTube is pushing it. They says, hey, shorts are picking up on our platform. And obviously one of the things that why it's picking up is because creators can make money on YouTube. Okay. So they're saying we're going to create a separate shorts channel on your, shorts, what is it called? We'll create a separate shorts section that for that channel when you upload it, and they're going to show up separately. Okay. So, hey, maybe we should all create shorts. I know we do create shorts once in a while for our Twim show. Maybe we should create more shorts. We'll see. Okay. The other thing YouTube rolled out this week was new metadata for educational video. This is only for English content. Why this is big is that if you have educational videos, like for example, sometimes for Market and Grow, we do educational videos about how to run ads, what to do, things like that. Now I can add like I have 4 different metadatas that I can do. One is type of video. Number 2 is academic system. Number 3, educational level. Number 4, exam, course, or standard. No, I don't have to use all 4 of them. I can use 1 or all 4 or 1 or 2 or 3, whatever metadata applies. But this is an important step because in the future, this metadata will be added to YouTube search results to help viewers decide whether the content meets their needs or not. So you've heard this from our show. If you haven't heard this before, go ahead, and if you're publishing educational video, go ahead and start using those educational metadatas. Okay. Next up is Google has come back, which is Google's John Mueller come back on SEO stuff, and that says, just improving on core web vitals will not really improve your indexing. So what John is trying to say is like, well, core web vitals is important. You have heard me talk about it. I said, this is basically directly related to page experience in terms of how Google rates your page experiences, whether does it load fast, is it like what's the first input delay, and things like that, right? Improving on the score will not necessarily improve your ranking or indexing. However, having said that, I just want you to know it is important for you to have good core web vital scores, because it will affect you how much you pay on cost per click. But if Google says that if users are clicking on your page and they're not waiting for it to load because it's slow, or if they're not able to interact, they will ding you, and eventually they will either lower your rank, or as well as not show your site at all. So even though Google John Mueller is saying this, keep in mind that it's important for you to have good web vital score on your website or on your page. Okay. The other thing John Mueller said this week was more content does not mean more traffic. This is great for a lot of people, business owners I've worked with. This is, we are not publishing enough. We are not putting a blog out every week, or we are not putting a blog every 2 days, things like that. John's saying just because you have a lot of content doesn't necessarily mean you'll get more traffic, or you'll show up more, because you cannot put spammy content. Put good quality content and you will show up. That's what it's all about. And we have covered this in the past as well. I'm sharing it now as well. Frequency is not a ranking factor. Frequency is basically how often the bot will probably come to your site. But what you really need to do is think through and put quality content out there that people will find helpful. People will stay on your website to read. And as a result, you will rank higher and higher. Okay. The next thing on the search front is that 15% of search queries on Google are still new. So if just a background, in 2007, Google says, hey, 25% of all queries that searchers entered into Google search was never seen by Google before. That figure changed to 15% in 2013. Google reconfirmed that number in 2017, 2018, and now in 2022 Google is saying 15% of search queries are still new for Google. Can you imagine in the last 15 years, despite all the advances that we have made in artificial intelligence / machine language and all these things, and so many people publishing so many blogs, there are still queries that Google see, 15 out of 100, that Google has never seen before. What does this mean? It means keep an eye on your Google Search Console, number one. Number two, keep publishing and think of different ways you can write the blog, questions that your users or your customers may have, and try to answer them through blogs and tap into those 15% that is going, unfound, right? And the third thing I can tell you is that maybe you should set up broad Google Ads campaign. Okay. With that, let's move on to the Google Ads announcements. Google Ad announces 3 changes to automated extensions. Automated extensions, number one, will be eligible to show alongside your manually added extensions. Previously, this was not possible. So that's one thing you need to know. In addition to automated the number 2 is in addition to automated extensions eligibility, Google is making updates to reporting capabilities. Reporting will now be available at an individual level in the extensions page of Google Ads. At this individual level, you will be able to pause or remove any automated extension. This allows for easier management to your campaigns. You will also be able to easily identify which extensions were created manually, automatically created by Google. Number 3 point from Google is that manual extensions viewability. Google already allows you to create an extension at a more granular level, which is account, campaign, or group, ad group. However, the more granular extensions these were created, this would prevent extensions created at a higher level to be ineligible to serve. So what Google is now serve. Campaign or account level extensions are eligible to show in your ads if they are predicted to improve performance. That's what Google is saying. If Google thinks predicted performance improvement comes from Google's machine learning algorithm, if you have created a hyper-specific ad extensions at the ad group level, it is a good idea to review any campaign or account level extensions that may be eligible to show in your ads. All in all, what Google is basically what's saying, and what I am telling you is like now, there are ways that you can create some manual extensions, and Google will create some automated extensions, and obviously it's going to combine them together, and it's going to show it to you, to your users, and obviously it's going to give you more space on the search engine results page, SERP. That's what it is all about, okay? With that, make sure you are using automated extensions and manual extensions, because if you are not, you're missing out. Okay, next up, Google Ads says destination not accessible policy is new, something you need to be aware of. It's basically boils down to if you have a page that is not reachable, or if you have a page that is under maintenance, or if you have a page that is not available to a certain geography, but you are using it in your ads, Google is going to ding you, right? It's going to flag you. It's just something they're getting very serious about. So make sure if you are putting a destination in your Google ads, that's the destination that will work, that everyone in that region will be able to use it. If not, hey, I cannot help you. Okay, next up is something, this is something I covered when I was talking about Meta and the ATT, Apple's ATT tracking. With that, Google is saying that they are planning to roll out Apple's like privacy settings in Google Android, or yes, Google Android, that's the thing, or Android. Basically, up until now, Apple made these changes to how advertisers and platforms can track users on Apple. Now Google is saying, hey, we are going to roll it out, and we are going to move forward with the similar to Apple's, Apple style privacy. But they're not going to do it now. No need to panic unless you are Facebook. No need to panic unless you are Pinterest. No need to panic unless you're Twitter. But you as a business owner should be aware this is happening. This will affect how you track your users, how you do your conversions, things like that. This is about like at least a year and a half to 2 years out there. It's happening. But Google is kind of putting it out there so that you, the business owner, can start thinking about it. Now, obviously, you, the business owner, would not be able to do much about it. What you need to do is work with a smart marketeer who can help you position and do some of the stuff now, so that when it happens in 2024 or maybe 2025, you are already, you're not panicking and trying to figure out, oh shit, now I don't have data. Well, how am I going to measure my conversions? Things like that. Okay. With that, Google does confirm, the next update is that Google confirms the standard shopping campaigns will remain available. A lot of people were freaking out thinking that, standard shopping campaign is going to go away because Google has a smart shopping campaign, but Google has confirmed that they're not going to get rid of it. A lot of us like standard shopping campaigns, including myself, only because we have a lot more levers, a lot more control. It's like driving between an automatic and a manual car, right? Automatic car works well because it shifts the gears and everything. However, if you are going into a race, you probably want more, control. So you have the manual stick shift, which is you can move your gears depending on how fast, where you want to do, slow, things like that. So having said that, Google does also say, which is that Performance Max campaigns will basically absorb smart shopping and local campaigns this summer, which is summer 2022. Basically, smart shopping and local campaigns will become Performance Max campaign. Google will offer a self-service tool to advertisers who wants to move their campaigns over to Performance Max ahead of the transition window, which could give you time for testing. By the way, one of the things that I plan to do this week is move some of my clients' smart shopping campaign into Performance Max. Maybe I'll just do some testing as well. So if you want to follow along and you want to find more information, make sure you visit us at marketandgrow.com or follow us on social, MKTANDGROW. That's the same handle ID across all platforms. But definitely, I know we are going to publish something on Instagram as well as YouTube. Okay. The next update is that Google Ads has come out, and that says you need at least 15 conversions in 30 days for machine learning to work better. What does that mean? This means I have always told customers that, hey, you don't have enough conversions to jump into automated bidding strategies, so definitely don't jump in. And Google is coming in and proving my point right. At a minimum, you need 15 conversions in 30 days for machine learning to work. Machine learning basically means there's automated bidding strategies, but ideally it will be at least, you need to have at least 50 to 100 conversions, so that there is a data point for you to know what type of people buy your product on Google Ads, what type of people interact your product, who does not buy, things like that. So Google can basically really optimize your campaign. If you're not getting at a minimum 15 conversions, then manual bidding strategies are the best for you. Okay. With that, the last update for this week is that Google has shared 3 top priorities that they're going to work on in 2022. Number 1 is they're going to focus on automation. As you can see, I've talked about smart shopping campaigns, performance max, things like that. So Google is going to continue to do that, just because that's where Google makes money. They have the control. They can play around things like that. However, for small to medium-sized advertisers who are not getting maybe 15 conversions, or who have a smaller budget, we will stay with manual bidding strategies. The next is measurement. They're going to focus on measurement, and we have already touched about enhanced conversions, consent mode, conversion modeling, and data-driven attribution. By the way, talking about consent mode, I know we are publishing a blog this week where we are going to talk about consent mode. So make sure you follow us. Again, marketandgrow.com or MKTANDGROW, because we are going to talk about consent mode, what it is and how it affects. The third thing is they're going to talk about that they're focusing on privacy, making sure that your data are stored safely, as well as making sure you are being tracked the way you should be tracked, and limiting the use of third-party cookies and things like this. These are updates we already covered this week in a few updates back. This should not come across to you as a surprise, but all I want to tell you is that how you measure success on your website is going to change drastically in the next 12 to 18 months. So this is a time for you to work with your market and be more strategic and be more intentional, and see, what are we tracking and what we need to change. Now, if you are still in the old style where, someone comes to my website and someone's going to make a purchase and I'm going to get a sale registered into my, dashboard. If you're still doing that in 2022, you will be shocked right towards the end of this year, early next year, early 2023, because things are going to change drastically. Okay. With that, folks, that's it for this week in marketing. Now you know everything you need to know. If you want to read more, make sure you visit our show page. Again, the show page can be found on our website, marketandgrow.com. And I apologize for this being such a long podcast. It's just that there were a lot of updates I had to cover, so that I bring you the best updates that you need to know to stay up to date. With that, take care. Bye-bye. Thank you for tuning in this week. It was a pleasure to serve you all. Hit the subscribe button so that you remember to sign on next week. Same place, same time for another round of This Week in Marketing.